now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sportz Nutz. Matt, we've officially made 159 episodes. I got to ask, is it our great-great-great-grandchildren's time now or what?
Man, our grandkids now, man. So, they're prospering in life right now as we speak. So
probably living on another planet at this rate, at the rate.
Yeah, you heard about that, right? You heard about that little thing, the planet that's coming towards Earth or something like that?
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
They actually did find another planet, though, outside of where Pluto is, and it is linked to our solar system. And it actually could sustain life. So,
okay, like the little microbiology kind of life, or the life?
No, like physical, like they have water on the planet.
I mean, again,
and water is the foundation to life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, and you want to know how long it takes to go around our entire sun?
How long does it take, Brandon?
4,500 years to travel one lunar rotation around this sun. It's for because Neptune is like 4,000 years to get 1 year out of it. So, hey, hope you guys had an absolute fantastic week. I know I had a good week yesterday. We had a nice little event though. Our guy Bryan Pettit. Yes, he's getting situated. He's about to be here. There he is. Yes, Bryan, welcome, man. Good to see you, brother.
Thank you. We had a good time last night. We went to Matt. We went to the a little scrimmage up at Clemson, and my son went, and Brandon got to meet my son. It was insane with all 5 kids.
Yes,
it was fun.
Yep, but we went to see the Clemson softball fall ball scrimmage. They played against Cassie's alma mater, Spartanburg Methodist College, actually. So it was really cool to there. We passed cards out left and right, and we got a lot of good feedback. But Matt, how was your week, man?
Week was good. Brandon, quick question: Did I send you that clip with Bryan already?
Yes, you did.
Okay. See, my fart, man.
Matt is getting old.
Matt, it's been a long week. Come on.
It has, man. It's been a very long week, man. I forgot why I sent that like a couple days ago. My bad. Anyways,
he gave it to me.
Yeah, man. It's been good, man. It's been good, man. Can't man, how it is, man. I can't complain. I'm breathing, waking up.
Here you go, Matt. There's your comment for you right here, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, man. But you know what they say, though. Black does not crack, indeed. But anyways, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. Just enjoying the week, man. Enjoy the week, and enjoying the dad life, enjoying the friend life, enjoying the work life. Kind of just not taking anything for granted, man. You know how I roll, Brandon. I appreciate everything. So hey, man, just living it up.
That's right. Hey, Bryan, I know how your week has been, but let everybody know how your week has been, sir.
My week's been actually pretty busy. It's been a crazy week. Putting up Halloween stuff, and so that's been about what my deal's been, working hard and cleaning up the downtown Greenville. So that's about all that happens.
Yeah.
And especially especially last weekend when we had the Fall for Greenville, it was a mess. It was a long time. That was a long cleanup.
Yep.
So,
hey, you got a comment from our guy Pensman? Let's go, Bryan. Hey, real quick, let everybody know. Shane is not with us tonight. He is actually on assignment at Brevard High School. He's telling us the scores and everything. So go enjoy it. Seriously, go enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And then our gentleman right here, Pensman Sports, he is our fill-in sideline reporter. He's also our hockey expert. So when we talk hockey, Pensman will be there. So make sure you guys click subscribe. Real quick, shout out to everybody who is listening to us live at 95.5 KFCE in Terrell, Texas. We are also on TigerNation.live, where we broadcast in Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma. We air on a couple of stations, one in Seattle, one in San Francisco, New Mexico, and we also air in a couple in Alabama. So with that being said, guys, tonight, who do we have? We have a gentleman. They give the newest and latest updates for the Atlanta Braves. They're really good. I love their content. I follow them regularly, and I was really pleased that our gentleman Sean agreed to come on. Ralph, it's good to see you, brother. Always to agree to come on our show. It really means a lot to us, especially to talk about what has happened this season for the Atlanta Braves. And I know we have a lot to discuss. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get on your hands and get on your knees and clap. Come on, man. How you doing, brother?
Or you can just do the chop. That works.
There you go.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. And y'all have some great content yourself and interview a lot of great people. So I appreciate y'all's content as well.
Oh, thank you, man. That means a lot to me. Like, I mean, we're just a bunch of no-namers. I mean, Matt, actually, no, I have a bigger name than Matt, but I'm just rubbing it in on that one. We strive.
We all have dreams.
I'm ignoring you on that one, but I will tell you this. So as you can see, Sean, Matt and I have known each other for a very long time.
Unfortunately.
Oh. I gotta find that flag. Where's that flag that I have? Wait, Matt, you ready? You were flagged, and that's also my microphone. That was my microphone that I found. So, but I've known Matt for about as long as I've been in the media. Matt is actually my oldest daughter's godfather. Shout out to Addison, but I came to this thing. I was like, I had that, like I told you, I had a Widowmaker in July of 23. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do something that's beneficial for me because I like talking sports. So 9 years ago, my wife, Cassie, said, I needed to start my own sports talk show because I drive her up the wall talking sports all the time. And I drove Matt up the wall because that's all I do was talk sports to him. And there were times he'd be like, Brandon, shut up. You're talking about it too much. I get it. And then the funny way that Matt and I actually met, we have a mutual friend named Bryan Greenblatt. Yeah, we're calling you out, Bryan. Went around, told me that Matt, he goes, I got a friend who plays for the Atlanta Hawks. I'm like, dude, let's get him on get him playing our team. I'm down for it, right? And no, Matt, tell him what really was transpiring on that.
I'm pretty sure if I played for the Atlanta Hawks, I wouldn't be able to play for your team, Brandon. I'm pretty sure that's how it was. But no, this is back when the G League was around. I tried out for the Hawks affiliate for the G League team, man. Because I was playing basketball, like all young kids, we have hoop dreams and hoop aspirations. So I was able to kind of get a tryout with them and try it out. Did great. Second tryout though, I kind of hurt my knee a little bit. So I was like kind of on ice. So Brandon, the first season that I played with you guys, I was kind of a little injured. Like I was like a little injured. I would say I was only maybe about 70-75% at the time, man, when I played with you, Brandon, and your team. That fun league where you got
I got thrown out of every game.
Thrown out of every game, like ejected from every game. Like
he's not being facetious.
This was madness.
Thrown out at every game.
No, it was madness. Like it was madness. Like I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it.
Last game that I got thrown out, this guy was like he's like 6'10". I'm 6'5", so I'm a pretty tall guy, and he kept like beating me with his hands. I'm like, dude, and I'm getting irritated. So he the last play that I had done it for me, I was mad. He clocked me in the back of the head with his elbow, and I sprung back up. I threw the ball at him. And I hit him in the face, and then I went over and I grabbed him and I picked him up. Matt and another Matt, quickly grabbed me, and then Jason grabbed me, and I ended up leaving. I never played back for that league again, but yeah.
You never played basketball again?
Yeah, I don't back. I did. I played it a couple times, but I never backed down to challenging. I played football. I was a very, very good athlete, and I unfortunately tore my ACL and MCL.
You know what they say. Very good glue guy. Always gave 110%.
Where I grew up in Columbus, Georgia, me and my best friend, and we started Atlanta Braves Chop Live in 2021 when the Braves won the World Series. There's literally a baseball park 2 blocks down the street from us. So I started playing there as a T-baller, would walk to the practices, walk to the fields, and baseball was pretty much the only thing that was around there. You had high school, junior high football and all that, and a little bit of basketball, but my grandfather was from Puerto Rico, and he got me really excited about baseball. We used to watch, of course, on TBS. I'm 50. I'll be 51 in December. And so, like I said, he's from Puerto Rico, so he's Spanish. So when the Braves were running, he'd say, corre, corre, corre. He'd do his hands like that. And he'd listen to every game. He'd walk like in front of our house, doing exercises. And he'd have the radio, we listened to WGN. And so that's where I got my love of baseball from him from a very young age. And I'd even write as a 7-year-old and stuff, 6-year-old, I even write the lineup, Chris Chambliss, all those, Bob Horner and all those guys, I'd write that down. And so, yeah, from a very young age, I even played for the Braves when I was 9 and 10 years old.
Nice.
And so, yeah, from a very young age, I just fell in love with baseball and fell in love with the Braves. And regardless of their ups and downs, I've always been a diehard Braves fan. And when the Braves won the World Series, I got kind of frustrated looking for content. So, Brandon, you're in media, right? So let's say if you do an interview, right? And a lot of people they don't follow what you're doing. They might not see those great interviews that you may do with players, right? Because it's your own content you're creating. Well, I started getting frustrated looking for all this content at different locations. And I saw a couple of Facebook pages, but they were kind of open where anybody could post. And so some stuff was irrelevant. Some stuff was kind of silly. So I told my best friend, I said, why don't we just start our own Facebook page? And his name is Ray. We were in kindergarten together. So that's how far back we go. And he was like, okay. And, so I was kind of like driving the train, and we were both posting and looking at the different content. Everything that we'd want, that Braves fans would want. Then we just started doing interviews. I mentioned before we went on the air that our first interview was Matthew Kaminsky. And he's been with the Braves for like 15 years playing the Oregon. And we did a lot in the Braves organization. And then we got credentials through Major League Baseball. And we started covering the minor league teams. And so we're both from Columbus, Georgia. So have y'all been to Columbus, Georgia before?
Yes.
I've been there before.
Yeah,
Yep.
I had one time.
So
we actually had Pete Lavin on, the GM for the Flintstones.
Yeah, Pete.
Pete is awesome. We also had Jonathan Hughes, the relief pitcher for the Flintstones, was on our show.
Okay. Yeah, we interviewed Pete. Matter of fact, I reached out to them because I saw when they were moving from Mississippi to Columbus, I was like so excited. And I saw that they had a Facebook page, but it didn't have a name yet, right? Because they didn't have the team name. It just said like Columbus Baseball. It had something like 6 or something like that, 6 to 46 followers or something. So I reached out to them. I said, kind of said, hey, we'd like to share your page. And so they went from like about 6 followers in 2 weeks to like 1,000. And so we just started sharing their content all the time. And we still do that. So our minor league page, we have a minor league page too. We generally just share what the minor league teams post just to give more eyesight for what they're posting, right? And then, what's funny is my best friend, since we were like 5, his first job was at that location there. It used to be called Golden Park in Columbus. Yeah. And so his first job was pushing around an ice cream cart, selling ice cream. And when I was 17, there was a guy who was administrator for the Indians organization. He was one of the umpires. And so he umpired our ball games. I played through a 16 through 18-year-old league. And also I played at that stadium, Golden Park Stadium as well, in that league. So he said, hey, we need an extra catcher in a bullpen. Would you be interested in doing it, for the Indians organization? And I said, sure. He said, it pays like $15 a game. The only thing I didn't like about it is I couldn't play baseball anymore because now I had a job, right? I had to be there. But 2 of the guys I caught, one name, I'm not sure if y'all remember these names, but there was a middle reliever named Rudy Sinez, and he pitched in the majors for 17 years. I remember going to a Braves game where he was pitching for the Red Sox versus the Braves. And I was looking at all these fans, because when you go to a Braves/Red Sox game, you have like maybe 40,000 people there because those Red Sox fans show up. Yep. And I'm looking at all these people, right? And I'm like, I wonder out of all these 40,000 fans, how many could say, hey, I caught that guy in a bullpen, That was pretty neat. And Albie Lopez, Albie was the starter. The Braves had him like maybe 2 or 3 years. I remember when he saw me, he's like, I want to light you up. Come here. He saw a 17-year-old kid. And then they had Pete Rose Jr. He was on the team, third baseman. And in the locker room, they had a real big sign next to his locker that said "No gambling" and the ordinance concerning gambling. I just kind of messed with him because of his dad.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Wow.
But
That
there was
is
a guy
that's a
named
little
Willie,
stab right there.
Yeah. and but Willie Canate, I think he was ended up going to the majors. He was a center fielder, and he was a backup player for Ricky Henderson. So we have we have a huge love for the Columbus Cleanstones. So when they were coming over, we just love it there, and I get to get up there a couple times a year. My partner Ray goes there often, takes photos, and everything we do is to promote the teams. So see what I'm saying? Like we have a minor league page. We don't make anything off the minor league page, but everything we do is to promote the Columbus Cleanstones, the Gwinnett Stripers. We know pretty much a lot of people in those organizations, and we just do it, out of the love of, we do monetize on Facebook, but pretty much as far as our minor league page, we're just doing it and to promote the teams in essence. Whenever they have something they're promoting, we share it. And being in the Orlando area, I'm 2 hours away from the spring training location. And I guess, are y'all familiar with the Florida Complex League? Yeah. So they played here about 2 months, and I saw 2 of the number 1 draft picks. Tate, south of Scene, shortstop.
That 17 or 18-year-old is playing down there too.
Yeah, Cam Caminiti.
Yeah.
So I had photos. I was like, hey, I'm down here taking photos of the 2 number 1 draft picks in the last 2 years. And so we started interviewing. So I had 2 interviews yesterday with some of the players, but our interviews, I don't care about stats because you already have people out there that look at that stuff. When I do interviews, I just care about the person's story. You know what I'm saying? Going all the way back to T-ball, what got you interested in baseball, developing through the different leagues and all that. So that's the kind of stuff I like. I know there are a lot of good stat people out there and all that stuff, and that's great, that you have your place for those. But I love hearing the backstories of the players and some of the struggles and their life stories going through. So,
amen.
Yeah,
that's where it matters the most.
Yeah. And but I appreciate y'all having me on here.
Absolutely. We're Braves people. As you see, I do have Atlanta Braves hoodie on. I'm a diehard Atlanta Braves fan. My sister Jessica took me to the first Braves game when it was the year they went from worst to first, in the ending of the 80s into the 90s. And I remember Jessica paid $15, and her and I both sat at the third base line of the dugout. It was mesmerizing. And Fulton County, is not exactly the nicest stadium back then. But yeah, I've been a Braves fan. My daughters are Braves fans. My wife is a Braves fan. So we are the only ones who are the true Braves people. My brother-in-law Seth, who lives in Atlanta, who is actually watching right now, he cheers for the Braves, but he cheers for the Orioles because my brother-in-law Zane lives in Baltimore. And my sister-in-law works for Ronnie Stanley he is a lineman for the Baltimore Ravens. So they're all affiliated about everything but Baltimore up there. And I think baseball is so special. I went to opening day at back then SunTrust Park, and I promise you, it felt like I was at Wrigley Field. It was so beautiful. It's such an amazing facility, and I love it. Atlanta has done well there, and I mean, my wife used to work a mile away from Ted Turner from the TED, and that show, The First 48, is filmed often down there. So she unfortunately had to see that kind of stuff. So the first question I'm going to ask you, Sean, is, and obviously we know that this year for Atlanta was an absolute toilet bowl. They stunk it up, and yet again, the real MVP, but he's not really the MVP, is the injury bug. So many players, so much so that we didn't see much of a starting rotation because everybody was always hurt. Mm-hmm. What is the mind frame going into this offseason, and how the players can be better and hopefully not make it onto the IL?
Yeah, one of the things that I saw during the offseason that they did is they picked up about 15 pitchers roughly and kind of stuck them down into the minor leagues. They all had Major League Baseball experience. So one of the people that we interviewed was Hayden Harris. and he was in AAA. But because they signed so many former MLB players, and they're trying to see if some of them will work or not, pretty much the majority of them, none of them stayed up in the majors at all. So it's pretty a historic time that you think of all these players they signed who had MLB experience before. Pretty much all of them, most of them don't even make it. They're released, and eventually Hayden Harris came up toward the end of the year. And but yeah, you think of one of the ones who makes me the most nervous going into next year is Ronaldo Lopez. And I think he had about 130 innings he pitched last season, but had a little bit of an injury last year and then has missed a huge portion this year. And they really haven't identified what that injury truly is. So it kind of makes you nervous going into the following season. So I wouldn't even, until I see him pitching next season, going through a healthy spring training, I wouldn't even list him as a pitcher right now, a starting pitcher, until you see it. He's 100% healthy. He had Bummer. He ended up the season on the injured list. And, one of the ones that what's amazing, because we'll post, about players, what they're doing and all that. And you get a lot of negative comments when you're posting about different people. And some of the comments that you got the most that people complained about was Bryce Elder, right? So Bryce Elder, of course, was an all-star previously and struggled the second half of last year. But when it comes to innings pitched, Bryce Elder led the team in innings pitched. So as far as consistency, now, do you want Bryce Elder to be your number one? Obviously not. But as far as who could the Braves depend on, it was Bryce Elder as far as pitching the most amount of innings this whole season. So that the season obviously wasn't successful when you got Bryce Elder, your number one starter as far as leading innings. And so you have Spencer Strider, who came back and wasn't looking totally great. Those last several starts, he started looking pretty good. Spencer Schwellenbach, he had that awkward break in his arm, just throwing the ball, and he credited that maybe because of velocity. His velocity kicked up. And then you have Grant Holmes, who decided not to do surgery, but was recently in the Florida Complex League. That's where some of the players go to still do rehab in the off season, like Grant Holmes, Ronaldo Lopez. So it'll be interesting to see what they do this season. But last season we thought everything was lined up, right? And they still got about 15 pitchers, and it still didn't pan out. So we've never seen that much. So if you're to start the season with what you got now, you got Chris Sale. You got Spencer Schwellenbach. We'll see how his arm does after that, fracture. You have AJ Smith-Sharver. He'll be out. And so you have Spencer Strider, Schwellenbach, Chris Sale, Hurston Waldrop. He looked like he kind of adjusted really well. And he credits Sean Murphy to helping him with his pitching there, adjusting with the pitch he got. And so number 5 is going to be all up in the air, really. So I wouldn't put anything into Ronaldo Lopez till I see he has a successful spring training. And Grant Holmes, that's still, a question to see how he does.
Amen on that one. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, Sean, I'm going to go ahead and piggyback off of Brandon and yourself a little bit here. A lot of people don't know this, but the Braves set a new MLB record this year by using 71 players this season. They also tied the record for the most pitchers used, which is like 46. So does that do we just chalk it up and say, okay, well, that's just an anomaly, that's just a one-time thing, or do the Braves need to really kind of reconstruct their team and do something drastic?
Well, we know Chris Sale, he's like their number one, obviously. And who saw that coming, right? The trade with Chris Sale. Right. Chris Sale had that big contract, and the Red Sox were like, well, we'll go ahead and move him for Vaughn Grissom. What's funny is we're familiar with Vaughn Grissom. We interviewed his girlfriend. Her name is Dalton. She actually wrote a book about him, and we did an interview, and he popped up on that interview there while we were interviewing her. And that's right when he was going to the playoffs, or they had the playoffs they were practicing. You remember that when they had the playoffs, and then they were doing like a practice game with some of the minor leaguers to kind of keep right. Mm-hmm. And so we interviewed Dalton, and then right after that, maybe about about a month later or so, then you have the trade of Chris Sale. And the question was, is he going to stay healthy? Is he going to stay healthy? And the Red Sox ate a big portion of that contract. And then he ends up being the Cy Young. And then he has that awkward rib, that rib injury. But Chris Sale is definitely, as you'd say, a dog. He's from Lakeland, which is about 45 minutes from where I am. And so, I mean, I would be if he has successful, spring training or what have you, and if he wants to, I wouldn't be surprised if the Braves maybe give him another year, if he's interested in doing that. But I guess we can chalk it up to something unusual. The Braves got rid of one of their pitching directors just about a week ago or two, and so apparently they realize that they're having an issue. But I'm also excited about some of the guys they have coming up. J.R. Ritchie, he's been doing really well. Of course, Hurston Waldrop. You have Landon Harper, he's in Double-A. You have Lucas Braun, he did really good in Double-A and is up in Triple-A now. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the Braves try to get another legitimate starter. I just hope they don't try to trade the farm. I'm not sure if you saw that, but when Alex Anthopoulos was talking about addressing the media, he was talking about there's actually a proposal with Drake Baldwin to be traded, and it would have been Drake Baldwin and other players. Now, who knows if it was he trying to get a shortstop? Was he trying to get a pitcher? But I say thank goodness he didn't make that trade because you think about Drake Baldwin. I mean, he's going to be making minimum wage, right, for the next 5 years or so. And we see that you end up, he's your fourth hitter currently, right? Batting fourth. And so it's a good thing they didn't trade him. So last year they didn't do hardly anything as far as moves. They signed Jerkston Profar at the very, toward the beginning of the season. And I think that was one of the things where they got off on the bad foot. Jerkston Profar missed half the season. He had 12 to 14 home runs. And if you add that up, for a whole season, he would have been pushing close to 30 home runs perhaps. And and Acuna started out slow. And you can still see Acuna kind of slow on the outfield. You kind of see him nervous. But Acuna is currently, as we're speaking, in Venezuela working out. So I think Acuna is going to feel more stable coming out this year and perhaps not go to the stolen bases like he did before. But I think we're going to see a lot better Acuna than we did this year. I think he was a little bit a little bit nervous being out there, just getting out, not wanting to re-injure the knee again. But I'll just chalk it up to you mentioned the number of players used. I'll just chalk it up to something that has never happened before again, so it probably never will. The 2023 Braves, we saw that offense, right? And we wish that the Braves still could produce that. But that was historic as far as the amount of home runs they hit. So, of course, we can't expect them to have historic seasons every year. So I'm hoping they sign.
Why not? Why not?
I know. It would be nice, right? And you think about the guy who had the most home runs on the team this year was Matt Olson. He had 29. And where before he had in the 50s, right? And Austin Riley was out for a while. And so I think Austin Riley makes a big difference on the team because he's that middle guy, and he's been struggling. He was hot starting to get warmed up pretty good right before his injury, but the Braves really need a healthy Austin Riley. He's got the biggest contract on the team, and his numbers have gone down some. And so I think Austin Riley is a huge key to the Braves being successful.
100%. You hit the nail on the head on that one. Injuries, they can derail. They absolutely can derail. But, I did see that the whole Drake Baldwin, and I kept saying, just trade Murph. Murph's injured too much. He's not showing, the zing and the zag that he signed with. But that's just all of us fans. Bryan, go ahead, man.
I got a question for you. What for next year? What is your expectations for next year? Going into the spring, in February and March and April and that kind of deal. What is your expectations for that? What do you think?
Well, the Braves were 20 games behind the Phillies, right? They were 7 games out of the wild card, And you think about how many games, I don't have the stats in front of me, but how many times did you keep hearing last year, or this year, how many times you kept hearing how many one-run games they lost, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so if you include what they didn't have Jerkston Profar to start the season. They didn't have Acuna really to get started the season. He was a little slow to get started. But you put those two in there, and I think those one-run games will be definitely turned around. And but the starting pitching was doing good to start the season, and it was doing okay. But then the offense was doing terrible. Michael Harris, he started out so very slow. There's even different remarks about should they send them down. And that's even from the Rays radio broadcasters, right? And they're like, we might have to send him down and get some more reps or whatever the case is. Then you wonder if the new hitting coach had any adjustment about that, and were they changing their philosophy? I don't know. When you see a fastball come right down the plate and the guy is guessing, I think that you're getting the wrong philosophy, right?
Yeah.
I've always been taught that you look for the fastball and then you adjust to the breaking ball. But too many strikeouts, obviously. Of course, your power hitters are going to have consistent strikeouts. Coming up this season, I think 5 days after the World Series, we'll find out about Kim, the shortstop, what he's going to do. I'd be totally surprised if he doesn't opt out of his contract. It's like $16 million, but he did decent enough. And then you have Scott Boras, his agent. And so I'd be surprised if he doesn't opt out of his contract. And I just don't see the Braves ever getting in any. Have you ever seen the Braves really getting in a bidding war with anybody? Right?
No,
I haven't,
never.
for years I haven't seen that in a long time.
Right. And but it makes me a little bit nervous. I hope that they don't jump the gun. Like I said, that Drake Baldwin trade. Just imagine what that would have been. Drake Baldwin trade, right? And then you have Sean Murphy. He goes out, right? He has to have surgery. And then who do you got? Sandy Leon to come up, and you know what I'm saying? You're bringing up guys in AAA. So I think that would have been a disaster of a trade. I like the idea of bringing up the guys in the minor leagues that have been showing consistency. You think about what a player goes through, right? You get signed, drafted, whatever the case is. You're down in the Florida Complex League, which I think is one of the hardest places for people to hit. The reason why is because there's so many different pitchers that come in and come out, right? A lot of them come from the Dominican Republic League. So those batters are facing guys from all different teams, different draft picks. So it's not like you have a scouting report on who you're facing. I interviewed yesterday Connor Essenberg, and he's number 9 in the Braves organization. And he said that when he first, as far as prospects, and he said when he first got up there, he's a little bit slow, kind of adjusting to the style of pitching that he had to face. But then you have a guy who goes through single A, double A, triple A. And if you're developing those guys, it's not all about money, right? Sometimes we think, well, the Braves don't spend this, they don't spend that. No, there are a number of teams out there, kind of like Baltimore and different teams who develop their players. And so I said there's David McNabb. He was the third baseman for the Columbus Cleanstones. They brought him up to Gwinnett. He's like a power hitter, and they got pretty consistent toward the end there. So there's a number of people in the Braves organization. I'm not really big on trying to spend a whole lot of money on a particular individual, and you find out it doesn't work out later on. I'd rather the Braves focus on what they have in the system. I mean, the system is what you got. That's what you got it for, right? Develop players, guys to come. You had Ozzie Albies came through there. You have Acuna came up through there. A number of players that came up through the organization. And you think about all those people there through all those teams. There's a lot of talent in the organization. And so what to see? I see the Braves obviously being competitive. I just hope they don't make trades that they regret later. And thank goodness, like again, that Drake Baldwin trade didn't go through, because I don't know who they would have got, but I'm glad that didn't go through. I mean, he might be rookie of the year, and then you're going to trade. Wouldn't that be terrible? Think about this for a moment. If you traded Drake Baldwin, right, for whoever you're going to trade, maybe a starter or a shortstop, and then he ends up being Rookie of the Year. Yeah,
An MVP. And what if he's the MVP of the season and then he's the MVP of the World Series? Talk about mutiny. That's going to happen.
Yeah. So I'm totally, I'm not real big on spending, trading a whole bunch of guys. You never know what a pitcher might get injured, regardless if he's one of the top pitchers in baseball. And because the season's a long season and you need a whole lot of players, as you pointed out, the Braves, this is the season where they used the most amount of players ever. So it takes a huge amount of people to get through a season. And I'm not really big about trading up a bunch of guys just to get that big name person in.
Absolutely. This is going to be a two-parter question on this one. The first part is Charlie Morton. He has such an amazing career. Now, all indications are that he is hanging up his cleats and retiring. Now, do you have any insights as to whether he is retiring or is he coming back? And if he is retiring, could he maybe develop into some sort of advisory role or a coaching role for the pitching staff for the Braves?
Yeah, I don't have any insight, but I'd be totally surprised if he came back. You never know what he's going to do, but imagine, I think, what did he get from Baltimore? Like something around 15 million or something like that this year.
Mm-hmm.
And you think who's going to offer him, anything more than 10 the most, maybe. And so I kind of think like that toward the end of the season, the Braves beat him up, which that was kind of sad. They pulled him out, first or second inning when he faced them. And then he got released by Baltimore. Then the Braves turn around and sign him. And so I kind of think that's going to be it. His kids are considerably young, right? Mm-hmm. And so each year he was wrestling with, well, I still have this desire to pitch, but then I also have a family as well. And so I doubt that he'd get into coaching. You imagine what the drop is in pay from making $15 million a year to being a pitching coach or something. So I imagine that he'd go back to spending time with his family. If you've made that amount of money, and he's made a lot of money toward the end of his season, I imagine that you should be set enough that it's time to spend time with your father. I mean, with your kids as a father. As you see, like Chipper Jones, he says the same thing. Chipper Jones could do whatever he wanted to. If he told the Braves, "Hey, I'll be manager," they'll say, "Okay," but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to spend that time away from his kids, and he kind of promised them, even though they agreed, like, "Hey, we don't mind you getting into being a hitting coach or whatever." It takes a lot of time. You mentioned about what are we looking forward toward next season, the beginning of next season. I go down to the Braves spring training location. I said I'm a mailman, but whenever I'm off, I'll go down there once a week or so. And you know who the busiest person I see in all the coaching staff of the Atlanta Braves? Who? Guess who it is? Just take a guess. Who is the busiest person in the Braves organization you see? You know who it is? Bryan Snicker. Oh, wow. He is the busiest person. He is on the golf cart, going all around, watching everything. And I'm like, man, this guy's amazing. He gets a lot of people complaining about him sleeping. But you go down to spring training, and he's not sleeping. That guy's all over the place, going down to the minor league area, going down to on that golf cart, and just all over the place. And I'm pretty amazed on. And he gives a lot of access to the fans. So he's like one of the first ones to go there giving autographs to the fans there. So not only is he, managing the Braves, then he's got this minor league system. He's looking at players in the minor league system. But I hope that whoever they get, as far as a new manager, I know we'll talk about that later, that you're not going to believe this, but I hope they have the same fervor that Bryan Snicker has in spring training, because it takes a lot of fervor when you're going down there and you're looking at players, and there's a lot that goes into it. You got stats, right? But then you got performance. And but yeah, like Bryan Snicker, he's the busiest one I ever see at spring training going down there. I'm pretty yep.
Speaking of the rumor mill about having a new skipper for Atlanta, we did hear Chipper's name quite a bit. We did hear David Ross, but the name that has been landing as the front runner, as according to 680 The Fan, as well as MLB on Fox, is Mark DeRosa. Who, in your eyes, do you think has the best odds to be the next Atlanta Braves skipper?
Oh, that's such a tough question. You look at one of the things that Alex Anthopoulos said about Bryan Snitker, that he is, in essence, somebody who is faithful that he could depend on, right? You don't want a skipper out there leaking stuff to the media, backbiting as you call it, the hand that feeds them, I guess you could say. But there's been a few in there that I've heard names from different experiences they've had with, whether it's people in different organizations or what have you, that you want somebody who's going to be consistent and loyal. And that's what he said about Bryan Snitker, that he is loyal. And he asked a question like, some general managers, they want control of who's in the lineup, who's doing this, who's doing that. And that Alex Anthopoulos said he's always given that over to the manager, because then it falls on the manager, if something falls through. And then you, as a manager, don't want to be back guessing, well, I want to do this, but then the general manager probably wants me to do that, right? You're going to have that conflict going back and forth. But I know that Mark DeRosa, the only thing that I think he's managed as far as, was the USA team, right? And of course, he has that job with MLB and doing that. I just don't see him going from that to be a manager. Like I said, there's like being a manager, there is so much that goes into that. Like I said, you have the spring training, you have the fall that you're going to the winter meetings for, and all that. And to go from a job like Mark Doris has done, I hope that they pick somebody with some experience and, some experience as far as being a manager. Sometimes people may say, well, maybe you can go with somebody who's never had that experience before. But one of the things that I think it's going to be somebody that Alex Anthopoulos definitely knows, because one of the things that he talks about a lot is the loyalty that Bryan Snitker had. Some people say Mark DeRosa. What's funny is I follow David Ross on Instagram, and when they went to the Auburn game, he was hiking a ball to Mark DeRosa. So him and Mark DeRosa, they're friends, obviously. But some mentioned David Ross. It's so hard to tell, because when you think about it, regardless who you get, you have no idea how the season's going to be, right? Everybody starts the season with their best, who they think that is going to get them there. All 30 teams are fighting for opportunity to get to the World Series. And for some reason, some teams have great years. You look at Baltimore, how bad their year was, right? And you thought they would have a great year. And
Colorado had an absolute abysmal of a year.
Right. And so as far as managers, it could be somebody that we're not even mentioning, but some people say, well, should it be somebody in the organization or out of the organization? And so David Ross is kind of out of the organization, but somebody who used to be in the organization. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's him. I'm not saying don't bet on what I say, but I wouldn't be surprised. And like I said, it could be somebody we had no idea about as well. But I hope it's somebody with experience, because you have to think about all the other. You think about the other people. You have Walt Weiss. He's been with Bryan Snitker for years. Some people don't like that idea because they said you're doing the same thing. But I mean, the Braves have been pretty consistent getting to the playoffs. It's just when they get to the playoffs, they have issues with different injury bugs or what have you as well.
Yep, that's right.
So as far as managers, I don't even think they're 100% sure yet. Unless they make an announcement tomorrow morning. I don't even think they're 100% sure until they do a lot more interviews. But David Ross is a safe pick, I guess you could say. Somebody who they know and they're familiar with.
We shall see.
Yeah.
I will say this before we go to Matt. Matt's going to have the last question, but I want to say that, I've seen the Atlanta Braves go through all sorts of, ouches, and they come back. They always come back, and Atlanta has a lot to fix. But our good friend Abe Gordon at 92.9 The Game has said many times that this team is going to live and breathe by the pitching rotation, and absolutely comes to fruition. All right, Matt, you get the final question.
Yeah, so on the defensive side of the ball, on the defensive side of the field, Nick Allen and Matt Olson were both finalists for the Golden Glove. For Golden Gloves, how important is that narrative of this team, especially in a down year?
Yeah, you think of Nick Allen, and he did great. Now I remember when I went down to the spring training, I said, "Who's this Nick Allen guy?" And he's so small. I was taking photos, and then I noticed that his wife started following on Instagram. So whenever I get a photo, I just send it to her, and of Nick Allen, and I was like, "Who's this guy?" And whoever thought that, and there's so many interesting stories going into the season, right? So starting last year, whoever think that Nick Allen would be your starting shortstop, right? Who'd beat Camargo out, right? And Camargo wasn't like he's bad defense, and he hit you 10 plus home runs or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And but defense, you think about the defense, but even listen to the radio broadcasters like Joe Simpson, and he would say things like, "Well, the other hitters should be doing, then there wouldn't be so much that would fall on players like Nick Allen, right? Because Nick Allen was playing great defense, but again, you didn't have hardly offense coming from him, right? No home runs out of the position until I think it was Kim might have been the first one to hit a home run there at the shortstop position. But defense is very important. But when you got so many people struggling, Michael Harris, Cunha wasn't. He started out hot, but kind of slowed down just for a few weeks. Austin Riley, all those, remember the outfield, right? Remember they were going back and forth, but we're going to stick in the outfield. That was a swing set, a swing set going back and forth, seesaw going back and forth. Who we're going to stick in left field? That was a struggle. And so you can have a Nick Allen, like the Rays used to have a Rafael Belliard, right? And they didn't expect anything. But you have to have a lot of production from the other positions. In the Braves, when you're not having any production from any of the positions, you start trying to depend on other people as well as far as offense. So I think that Nick Allen will be there if Kim decides to opt out. You need somebody there for defense, right? But it'll be interesting. I think that's going to be one of the biggest holes the Braves are going to have to fill. As shortstop, if Kim does decide to go ahead and opt out. I don't see with Scott Boras being the agent, I don't see the Braves. This is possible, but why would you opt out and make an agreement with the Braves for a 3 or 4 year contract? If you're going to opt out, you're going to go ahead and opt out all the way and open yourself up to other teams to go ahead and bid on you. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And definitely Nick Allen, great defense. Of course, Matt Olson, that was awesome as well. He's always a sure glove there. But when it comes to when you're struggling offensively, you kind of think the Braves are going to make an upgrade there.
Absolutely. This season off-season is going to be full of a lot of changes and a lot of changes for the good. I'm probably, I'm not the only one who thinks this, that Alex's seat might starting to get a little toasty. And he needs to really rebound what he's doing to, stop trying to get the band back together. 2021 was 4 years, going on 5 years ago. A lot has changed. Eddie Rosario is not going to come in and hit home run after home run and hit 985 in the entire season, so let's just move on from there. But absolutely, I think I'm looking. I think
you also had one question mentioned before about Berkman.
Brigman.
Brigman.
The thing about his contract, he opted out, and you think about what the Braves are going to do with Marcell Ozuna. I see them. I'd be surprised if they re-sign him with his injury on his hip and that he had. You kind of think they might do a little bit of a rotation, would make sense. But he ended up opting out of his contract. Well, he said he's going to with the Red Sox. He's making $40 million a year, right? $120 million contract. And so if he's opted out of that $120 million contract, still owed $80 for the next 2 years. He's 31. He's probably looking to get to the age of 35 to 36. The Braves aren't touching. He's not trying to opt out of that contract to get less than $40 million a year. Not much more. So I don't see the Braves doing any big deals with any big agents like that. Austin Riley's
one can wish, though, right? One can absolutely wish.
Austin Riley's around $21 million, and I'd be surprised if they go much more than that on the player, maybe 25 or so. But
wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
40. And you think about, if you look at his stats and you compare it to Jerkson Profar, they're about the same as far as, he played more games than Jerkson Profar, like maybe about 30 more games than him, something like that, 20 more games. And as far as home runs and RBIs, they're right neck and neck. So you got a guy making 18 to a guy making 40. So I'd rather them strengthen the pitching staff, like you said, Brandon. Pitching is very important as far as the Braves organization.
Oh, hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. Real quick, can you let everybody know where they can find you, sir, on social media?
Thank you. Pretty much everything is Atlanta Braves Chop Live. Our Facebook page, Atlanta Braves Chop Live, Instagram, YouTube. We started a minor league page because I wanted to try to get all the minor league teams' information out. So we call that Atlanta Braves Chop Live Minors. I reached out to the Braves spring training location. I said, "Are y'all going to start a page for the rookie league?" And they were kind of like, "Well, I don't know." So I started a page for the Rookies Florida Complex League. That's the Braves. So also reached out to some of the players in the Dominican Republic, which those guys are between the ages of 16 and 20. So when you sign out of Dominican, when you sign in with the Braves out of that league, you have to spend at least 1 year there. Those guys are 16 to 20. So then I started a Facebook page called ATL Dominican Baseball League as well. So we're trying to start from the very beginning, when they're at 16 or so in that league, all the way up through the major leagues to cover all of the Braves, and try to give as much information, to the fans that want it. So here's all the information, and whatever you like to follow, here you go. But we're here to, as Braves fans, try to provide as much information as possible.
Absolutely. Sean, man, I appreciate you, brother. I'm glad that you were able to come on and talk to us about some Atlanta Braves baseball. But, man, I want to have you on again in the future. Sound good?
Sounds great. I appreciate it. Thank you, Bryan, and thank you, Matt. And Brandon, thanks as well.
No problem, man. Glad to have you.
Go enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Chop on. Take care.
Take care. Guys, that was awesome. I mean, that's so cool. The Atlanta Braves, they do have a lot to be fixed, but I think they can fix it.
He's got a lot. I mean, for what he was talking about, I'll tell you what, Atlanta's going to have a lot of dishing out next year, and they got a lot of work. What he says, and it's going to be tough.
They just got to stay healthy. If they stay healthy, they're fine, man.
An injury bug the last couple of years has really hurt this team like no tomorrow.
And what's crazy is they just missed the playoffs. That's the first time since 2017.
2017, yeah.
And it's really honestly, it's because of injury, man. I mean, you can't really say anything else. It's just because of injury, and that slow start that they had as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely. All right, so let's continue going on. We have I have a topic. I'm so excited to talk about this one with Matt. Matt.
Ah, yes, we're back.
The NBA gets into full swing when, Matt? Next Wednesday, October the 22nd.
You see what I'm pointing at right there?
I mean, I know you can't wait.
The basketball. That's what I'm pointing at. So, hey, man.
But folks, basketball is back, and it's just all basketball. I'm talking college as well, high school, everything. The tides, though, have definitely shifted, though, Matt, in the East for the NBA favorites. Boston is no longer touted as the number one. However, Atlanta is listed as the team that has had the biggest turnaround and is poised for a top 4 seeding in the playoffs. Matt, the floor is going to be yours, but I want to hear your thoughts on the Atlanta Hawks.
Look at you. I think they had a great offseason. I think they solidified their bench scoring with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think, of course, they got bigger with Porzingis in the middle. And Porzingis was looking very spry and very bouncy during the preseason, man, looking to attack the basket a lot more. He's realizing finally that he's bigger than everybody else. So, he's getting back to it. So I think I don't want to rush the judgment yet. Usually when teams do this and they have great off seasons, we're usually disappointed. So, but usually 9 times out of 10, teams are bringing other mega stars in like that. This team didn't do that. It seemed like this team just kind of fill their team up with needs. I think they built nicely around Trae Young, but that's not the important factor of this season for the Hawks. The most important factor of this season is, can Jalen Johnson stay healthy? If Jalen Johnson is healthy, you're getting 20 and 10. And I think the Hawks are on their way to a top 4 seed. However, and history always shows us that, history is destined to repeat itself. Jalen Johnson got hurt the last 2 seasons, guys, in a row. Porzingis is always nicked up. I mean, what's to say this year is going to be any different? That's kind of you have to kind of be a realist of it. I'm sorry, Shane kind of threw me off with his little comment there.
Can the Hornets continue success from the preseason?
And the reason why it threw me off is because the Hornets are like a thorn in the Hawks' side. No matter what kind of season the Hornets are having, they always come through, and the Hawks cannot stop them from bombing from 3. And I saw that Hornets preseason game. They actually look pretty good, man. They look like a little kind of nice little variation in Showtime there with LaMelo running the point with Bridges.
The lob and the dunk with Brandon.
Yeah. With Miller and Bridges, they're looking like they're gonna be running. But nah, man, back on the Hawks, man. I think they have a good, solid team. I think Trae is kind of understanding he doesn't have to score 30 at night, even though he can because he's done it. And last year was an indication of that. He doesn't have to score 30 a night to be effective, as he led the league in assists. So I think he's poised for another year of leading the league in assists. I can see him at 25 and 12 next year, especially with the team that he has. And let's not forget about Luke Kennard. They have shooters coming off the bench. This team has everything Trae really needs, all while keeping him as the best player on the team. A lot of people say you can't win with your best player being the point guard. We'll see. So it's going to be an interesting season, going to be an interesting year. We'll see. Can we, not have to, succumb to injury, and go from there, man. But I expect big things. Regardless or not, I expect them to make the playoffs.
This is coming from the Duck Father.
Darkwing Duck?
Darkwing.
Or is that Daffy? No, that's Daffy. Is that Daffy or Darkwing?
Oh, no, it looked like Darkwing, but it's Daffy.
It looked like Darkwing for a little bit.
Grizz are going to be a wreck this season. Hey, that's possible.
How is there? Let's see. Is Ja going to be out some games, or is he healthy now? They signed back Jaren Jackson. I know they signed him back, right? So a massive deal. I don't know what else they did. I don't know what other moves the Grizzlies made, but let's be real here, man. When Ja was healthy, and they were a playoff contending team when Ja was healthy. We're not going to take that away from him. People see how this is. Mm-hmm. 3 seasons ago, Grizzlies were the media darlings. They were the media darlings of the league. With Ja was on top of the world. Then he decides to pull out a little bit of pistol here and a pistol there, and then boom, now they buried. They're the Ja needs to go. So hey man, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens this year, man. So many good teams, so many good players. I think the league is in a good place. I mean, you look at Orlando with Paolo. You go to Brooklyn. They got Michael Porter Jr. up there running the show now. I mean, the Knicks are going to be the Knicks. They'll be good for the regular season, but then they'll flame out in the playoffs. The Heat are always going to be solid. I mean, over to the West, you got the Lakers. You have so many teams. The Warriors are there with Jimmy Butler under a full training camp. I mean, it's going to be interesting, guys. The parity is strong, and I think we're going to be poised for a great season.
Absolutely. Real quick, I'm not going to dive into it. And by the way, he is Daffy Duck Looney Tunes. That's the duck. We thought he was Darkwing Duck. For people who don't realize, we just totally hazed ourselves.
We did. When there's trouble, you call DW.
I was, and then I was also thinking, with Baloo. You remember Baloo and Tailspin? I was like, oh god. Okay. It's John, the pitch good man. Oh my god. Okay. So
how do we miss that?
I don't know. Shout out goes to Purdue, Matt. They're the number one. Ranked number one nationally in preseason rankings for college basketball.
Yep,
it's gonna be. But we have another episode lined up for that. But I just want to say congratulations to Purdue on that one. All right, let's do our annual pick'ems. Weekly pick'ems. I'm going to give you guys 7 games this time, not 10, 7. And you tell me who's going to win and the score. That's all you got to do. Don't go into depth to do it for time reasons.
Okay.
First one. I'm going to start with Bryan on SMU and Clemson. Who wins and then what's the final score?
I'm going to say SMU. Surprising, shockingly. Yeah. 21-17.
Okay, close game.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. SMU or Clemson?
I agree with Bryan in that it's going to be a closer game than people think. But I got Clemson winning like 21-24 or 24-21. I got Clemson winning. I do think it's going to be a close game.
I have Clemson winning 24-21 as well.
Oh, we got to remember, Cade's out too.
Hold up. Okay, did they come out and say Cade was out?
Yeah, they haven't said it, but they're saying questionable.
Okay, it's questionable. He'll play.
Yeah.
We'll say.
But he has to play.
Yeah. You're gonna have to play. Are you gonna have the Matt's favorite term be used?
Hold on. I've been waiting to say this for so long. Cade better play if they want to catch Georgia Tech.
They're not gonna catch Georgia Tech.
They wanted to say that. Oh my gosh.
Shane has gone 28-20 for Clemson. All right. Yeah. Next one. University of Hawaii, Colorado State. Who you got, Bryan?
I'm gonna say 38-10.
For who though?
Hawaii.
All right. I mean, that's a good score, actually. All right, Matt. Hawaii and Colorado State. Who you got?
I think Hawaii is going to win this one. I think Hawaii wins it 28-17.
I say Hawaii wins as of what they've been doing as of late. I say Hawaii wins 38-20. And I think the road woes finally are starting to come to an end. I think Michael Alejado is the real deal. And John just said here that Hawaii wins 34-20. And then LSU Vanderbilt. Matt, who gets this one?
Where are they playing?
They're playing at LSU. No, they're playing in Nashville.
They're playing in Nashville.
They're playing in Nashville at Vanderbilt.
Ooh, that kind of changes things. I'm still going to go with LSU, though, but I think they just squeak it out. Give me LSU 28-24.
And Shane's over here saying that Colorado State's going to win by 4. Anyway, all right, Bryan, who you got?
I'm going actually Vandy because LSU's kind of been sloppy late. So I'm going to say 28-17. Vandy.
I say Vanderbilt wins. I like it. I say 24-17. Vanderbilt wins. Yes. All right. This next one. This is just for you, Matt. Georgia Tech takes on the Dukes. The Dukes of Hazzard, as they call them. I think Georgia Tech absolutely comes to play. 38-17 Georgia Tech. What you got, Matt? Words. We're on radio.
Mollywop. I got Georgia Tech beating Duke. Give me 34-17.
All right, Bryan, who you got?
I'm gonna say Georgia Tech by 10. It's gonna be like 21-10. Somewhere right there. 21-10.
All right. Next one. This was I was gonna do it for Shane, but since Shane's not here, we're not gonna do it. Oklahoma and South Carolina. I think Oklahoma absolutely opens up a can on South Carolina because they're mad because they lost last game.
Absolutely.
So I think I will sit here and say I think Oklahoma wins 41-14. Matt, go ahead and look. Georgia Tech 21-16.
But what he said before that, I saw what he said. I'm scared to say they'll win. Absolutely. I don't want to jinx it, man. I don't want to jinx it. Watch this be the game. Watch this be the game we just let go. And Duke come out guns blazing. But nah, man, Oklahoma's going to win this one. Oh, my gosh, excuse me. I think Oklahoma is going to win this one 28-10.
All right, Bryan, who you got?
I'm going to go 34-21. Oklahoma. Sooners.
Boomer Sooner. All right. This next one, Signetti, got that 8-year $93 million deal. Indiana is going to play Michigan State, and I think Indiana absolutely waxes the floor. Michigan State they look really dead this season. I'm going to say Indiana wins 34-10.
Put some respect on Indiana's name. Number what?
Number three.
Number three, Indiana. I agree with you, man. I think Indiana's gonna win, but I say 40-14.
Oh,
Bryan?
I'm gonna say Indy like 38-17.
We're all in a consensus here that Indiana's gonna come and play.
It's gonna be a shellacking. That's what we know.
It's gonna be over by the third. The bad thing is going to be over by the fourth quarter. Start of
yeah.
It could be over.
It could be over about a fourth minute if you want to be honest, man. If you want to be honest, they're not playing games this year, man. They're coming out and they're just hitting teams in the mouth. They are not playing games this year. So
yep.
Can you imagine if they got the playoffs though too, Indiana?
Oh, they'll get in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're going to get in the playoffs.
I have another game that I'm going to do. Actually, two more games. I'm not going to do the Ole Miss UGA game because I wanted Shane to be here for that one, but. University of Texas, San Antonio, and North Texas. North Texas came off an absolute shellacking against South Florida. I think North Texas is mad. It's the second straight sellout at Denton. I think North Texas wins 45-14 over Texas San Antonio. Matt, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Texas San Antonio on this one, man. I got them winning 24-21.
Bryan, who you got?
Who are the teams again? I forgot.
Texas San Antonio and North Texas.
I'm going to go North Texas. They need another win. So I'm going to say it's going to be closer than what people think. I think it's going to be 38-24.
Okay.
In a close game.
Last game I'm going to do because this is a massive rival. Like, this actually can decide your job every year. Florida Atlantic University is taking on South Florida and Tampa. The last two that were there, the FAU coach was fired the day after he lost this game. And they're only separated by 15 miles. So, Matt, who do you got? South Florida or FAU?
I got South Florida winning this one big, man. Give me 34-28. You know, 34-28. I got. This
all right, Bryan, who you got?
It's gonna be a big game.
I'm gonna go 34-17. Same thing.
I'm gonna say 44-10. South Florida.
Jeez.
Florida Atlantic is not. They've not been able to hang. So
but you know how players get when it's a rivalry game. They get hyped up, man. I mean, you know how it gets, man. They'll hang with them for the first minute. First quarter or so, but after that, I think this is just gonna go. And then after the game's over, they might score a few, garbage touchdowns to kind of make it closer than what it was.
Absolutely. All right, real quick, we have our statistician right here, Mr. Bryan Pettit. Bryan, the floor is yours, man.
Okay, today, actually, this weekend is a kind of a big deal for NASCAR. They're racing at Talladega Motor Speedway. Well, Super Speedway, and this is a little something here. It's a 2.66 mile at Talladega hosts a round 8 playoffs race again across the NASCAR's 3 national series this weekend. It is the first time the Talladega appears in the Cup Series playoff in the round 8, knowing for the unbelievable drafting. They can go 3 wide, 2 wide, and it's unrespectable. Some of the things here, the key marks. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay. All right. The track length and size scale is 2.66 miles, like I just said. Restrictor plate, Super Speedway, average race speed is 180 miles, expected 60 plus lead changes, which is incredible, and they can go forward wide. Also, recent renters, the last 10 racers, 10 acquire victories, longest streak in the track history playoffs drivers with the wins: Blaney in 2023 and Elliott in 2023. Cautions, there are probably only 4 cautions. You got to watch for the big ones, at the very end. Where do you want to put yourself with 5 laps to go? Even if they haven't had a big one, where are you going to put yourself? It's just a strategy kind of a race. You're going to go 3 wide and probably they're going to go single file. But I will tell you this. If you haven't been to Talladega, you need to go to Talladega because Friday, Saturday, they start on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they end until midnight on Sunday and still probably in the mornings of just all kind of festivities, all kinds of stuff to do the whole entire time. So that is the stat of the day.
I like that. And I mean, I'm ready to go right now. Let's go. I'm ready to go. Let's go right now. Get in the car. We drive in Talladega right now. Come on.
I mean, and the bad thing is if you go now, you get that boulevard party. They have all kinds of, the beads are flying and there's all kinds of stuff. It's just one thing that you ought to adventure one day. So, it's kind of crazy.
What goes on in Talladega
stays in Talladega.
Love it.
That's what
all right.
Hey, Brandon, I got a story to tell this one real quick. And then I'll let you do it. Okay. One of my old friends, which is about my old boss back in Greenwood, one of his friends went to Talladega one time. They were drinking beer at one night, and a cop came by and said, "Hey, how y'all doing?" and all this. Well, the party was so small, he said he'd come back right after they got off of the horses and everything. So what did he do? He came back to the campsite and camped with them the whole entire night. The whole entire night they did that. They were drinking and all that. So it's pretty cool. And I'll tell you this, the cops, they really don't do anything. They just let you go wherever you want to.
Yeah.
They have fun. Hey, they'll come out and party with you.
Ain't nothing wrong with that now.
No.
All right. Now comes the fun part, y'all. Yes, it's mine and Matt's and everybody else's favorite segment. It is the honorable mentions. My first honorable mention, Matt and Brian, I hope you guys rated this one, is to all college football and the NFL games this week. We now, guys, and I want you to listen to this, we now get to watch football every single day of the week. College football now airs on Mondays, and you also have NFL on Monday Night Football. And you have Mac Nation, you have Conference USA and Sunbelt play. They start on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You have games. Then you have your Saturday, and of course your Sunday. So literally every day of the week, we are blessed to have football. Matt, what's your first one?
My first one is going to go to cornerback Jamel Dean from Tampa Bay Buccaneers, named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Had a monster game against the Niners, man. He recorded an interception, his first career sack, a forced fumble, 4 tackles, a pass deflection, and a QB hit. So much respect to Jamel Dean, and as much as it pains me to say this, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing some football, man.
You're fired.
Got to give props where they're due, man. Got to give props where they're due.
All right, Brian, what's your honorable mention?
Well, mine is a kind of a sad story. One of my colleagues, his brother has the 9/11 thing, so goes prayers out to his family and stuff. So I know he's battling with a lot of stuff. So to my colleague and his brother, so prayers for him. So
I love it. Yes. 9/11 would change the world as we know it forever. And thank you to all those first responders who did pay the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. We will never, ever forget you. So, all right, I got a story for everybody. You guys kind of have an idea, and this is 200% fact. How do I know that? How do I know it's a fact? Because I've already verified with the people who cover it.
I mean, it's a lot.
You know what is not?
Dang, my bad. I didn't even mean to say that out loud, man. My apologies. My apologies. It just slipped there.
Well,
it slipped. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. A report was leaked actually this week about University of South Alabama. They reached out to all Power 4 conferences. Matt, just out of bleeps and giggles, who do you think was the one Power 4 conference that has listened?
I'm gonna say the SEC.
Nope.
Okay. I'm about to say. I knew it. I had to make sure. I had to make sure.
That would be the Big 12.
Okay.
Pensman, good to see you, brother. Yes, the Big 12 is has been having formal discussions with South Alabama. They did ask the ACC, and the ACC said, no, we don't want you.
Ooh.
They asked the SEC and the Big Ten, and they didn't even get an answer from them. But South Alabama has a real possibility of moving on to the Big 12. Well, you know what? Another school also has had conversations with a conference, and they agreed. They have an agreement lined up. New Mexico State, yes, they're going to be leaving the Conference USA in the 2028-29 season to join the Mountain West Conference. Yes, New Mexico State is back in the way of the WAC because literally almost everybody that's in the Mountain West was with the WAC. And then last but not least, actually, I have two more for this one. The next one on this one, Matt, you ready to hear this?
Let's hear it.
Toledo is back in the market. They are finalizing a deal to be a member of the Mountain West Conference. They want to be a football-only member. The Mountain West Conference wants them to be a full-time member. So we should know anytime if Toledo is joining. And last, but certainly not least, has anybody ever heard of Tarleton State by chance?
I don't think I have.
They're in Texas.
They've been mentioned on the show a couple of times.
Yep. Well, they're finalizing a deal to be. They're going to jump up from FCS in 2 years, and the Mountain West Conference has already extended an invitation, so they are going to be joining the Mountain West Conference as well. So congratulations goes out to everybody on that list. Matt, what is Brian, what is your next honorable mention, sir?
I'm going to give it up to you, Brandon, for taking my kid yesterday. I think he had a blast and everything at the Clemson softball game, and hope he gets to come over there. He's already asked me already. Can I come over your house? Can I come over your house because he wants to play with the girls on the trampoline? So,
he already
Matt,
he already
we're gonna have. And Matt, also to you, I just want to say, congratulations on your job up at the mall. A couple weeks ago. So
thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. I
hope when you come down here, we'll have fun.
Man. I regret taking that position every day.
Yeah,
every day. I regret it. Headaches. Nah, just playing. Nah, man. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
All right, this next one. All right, I have to put his name up here, okay? Because he did also just do an honorable mention with me as well. We're gonna give a shout out to the National Women's Soccer League team, the KC Current, y'all. 17-match unbeaten streak, and during that time, they have had 14 shutouts. That's tremendous.
Man,
you don't see that anywhere.
Dang.
You don't see that anywhere. And these girls, A+.
They got to be like 6'5", 6'6", bro. Like, you ain't getting past me.
They're doing a Gandalf. You shall not pass. Boom.
Nah. What does Hawaii do in the Olympics all the time when they are about to play or something like that? What's that chant? Yeah. They got to do something, man. They're scaring opponents. Yeah. To shut out that many opponents, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you do it.
Yeah, that scared me too. That scared me too.
Yeah.
You know what scares me?
Terrified.
You know what scares me?
What's that, Brandon?
This gentleman's face right here.
Yeah, the Sportz Nutz logo.
No,
that's what you pointed at.
Yeah.
All right.
No. Anyway. All right, Matt, what is your final honorable mention, sir?
It's going to be 2-1 real quick. The Cincinnati Bengals, they went into last night's game as one of the worst rushing teams in the league. The last 5 years, they've always been in the bottom 3 rushing in the league. So shout out to Chase Brown, who actually had a great game. He ran for 108 yards in that game, which is unheard of. Since the Cincinnati Bengals only average 56 rushing yards a game. But also,
can we also point out the fact that the Icy Hot Bowl champion?
Yes, Icy Hot Bowl champion. Got to give the shout out to old man Flacco, especially during that last game-winning drive. That shot to T. Higgins. Got to give it to Joe Flacco, man. Got to give it to Joe Flacco. They should not have won that game by any stretch of the means. They should not have won that game, but they willed it through. despite Aaron Rodgers' best efforts. And Aaron Rodgers made crazy throws in that game. So shout out to old man Flacco.
Yes, Pensman, we're talking about him, but did you guys see the 300-pound lineman tackle Aaron Rodgers after a touchdown?
No, I didn't see that one.
He jumped on him as Aaron does his little celebration he did, and then the guy goes and jumps on him.
Oh, geez.
And Aaron Rodgers got up. They had to separate him. Pensman will tell you, yeah, he was hot, like excruciatingly hot. Guys, we had a fantastic episode. Real quick, letting you guys know about the upcoming episodes for the Sportz Nutz. Matt Pensman said, "You're lucky. I respect you." All right, so Tuesday, October 21st is a 2-team episode. We have Newberry College football and Maryville College football on at the same time. If we do have any time left, we'll have a little bit of a small sports talk. Wednesday, October 22nd, episode 161, which is my good friend, my idol, Mr. Rob DeMello, the KHON2 sports director, is going to talk about UH sports because there's a lot to cover. We do have an episode on Friday, October the 24th. There will be an episode on October the 28th. Is episode 163, the athletic director of Utah Tech Athletics. And guys, this new one just booked. Just another one booked this afternoon, by the way, as well. It was we have on Tuesday, November the 4th, episode 164. It is Whittier College football. Yes, that they were a program that was around, and then they went away, and now they're back. So I was really excited about them coming on and talking with us. So yes, they are coming on to talk sports with us. You know, what is it really like to start a football program again? And then on November the 7th, the Biloxi Breakers pro hockey team, they are joining us to talk about pro hockey in the great state of Mississippi. So it's going to be a lot of fun to have everybody on. So guys, this has been an absolute blast of an episode. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to the 75 comments we had tonight. We greatly appreciate them. If you could help us out, here's a couple ways you need help with. We are looking for sponsors. If you were interested in sponsoring the Sportz Nutz, Matt and myself will be the ones you talk to. We have the lowest rates possible, and what we would do is it goes 100% back into the show to make this show even better. We can do that with your help. And if you'd like to advertise small businesses, we are looking for you. We will talk to you. We have the best rates literally everywhere. So, and of course, if you're interested in doing donations, reach out to Matt Thomas, and he will get everything filled out, sent out to you, so you fill it out, how much you're going to donate, whether it be 1, 2, 3,000 or 5,000, however much you want to donate. He will write it out, and he will get everything sent to you for your tax records. So, with that being said, for our guest Sean for Atlanta Braves Chop Live, Bryan, what do you tell everybody, sir, as your parting words?
Parting way? Okay. Mine is be kind, be safe, and love each other, and hope everybody has a great weekend. So there you go.
Absolutely. And Matt, what do you tell everybody not get done?
Hey, guys, we got the weekend coming up. A lot of more important games. Some of you guys are going to hit your parlays. Some of you guys are not going to hit your parlays. Either way, alcohol will probably be involved. So just make sure that, you have a designated driver, call you an Uber, and if you're going to drink, do it at home. Don't get flagged in the game of life, guys.
You don't want the whoop whoops
whoops
behind you at all.
Don't want those, boys.
No, you don't want that.
We're not bailing you out of jail either. You ain't getting bailed out this weekend regardless. So you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait till Monday or Tuesday to see the judge.
Dang right.
And just to let you know, they have one toilet right in the middle of the holding cell. And everybody got to share it. So don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Yep,
better not be that guy. Exactly.
Trust me, you can't hold it as much as you think you can. You can't hold it. Don't be that guy.
And this is coming from experience, it sounds like, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying. All right, tomorrow I will be at the Presbyterian Stetson homecoming game. Matt, I know you're working. Otherwise, I would tell you to come up. So.
You can catch me on a good Wednesday or Thursday, man, and I'll be up there.
Guys, thank you so much, everybody tuned in to our episode. We really do appreciate it. So I always tell you, peace up, A-Town down, Y. This is the greatest sports city there ever was. You guys have a wonderful weekend. We will see you on Tuesday for our double episode of Two Teams. Enjoy this outro and good night.